If you can hear a commotion in the background, it's because my neighbors have put up their Christmas decorations, and when they put up their Christmas decorations, they go all out. They cover the entire house in stuff. They got a projector. The projects like four different images, like Santa, Rudolph, Snowman, uh, and they play music as well. Hopefully, my phone's microphone can't pick that up because it is copyrighted music. Um, Now that I've said that, I guarantee this video will be taken down real big. Yeah, you use copyrighted music. Oh yeah, what copyrighted music did I use? Uh, Music. But yeah, if you can't hear it, just I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about it. It sounds like my window was open because of that, but it's not. That's just how loud they are. But anyway, update review: the Attack on Titan crossover for AC Shadows. It's shit. Like, I didn't mind the first crossover, whatever that was, and I didn't mind the Critical Role one, but unless you were to actually turn Yasuke into a Titan, this just cannot work. It's impossible because you can either have it that you would have to fight a Titan with just your fucking sword, like no ODM gear or anything like that, or you don't actually fight the Titan, and in this case, you don't actually fight the Titan. The whole thing is that you find out that some of the scouts are here, and they're like, "Oh, need help rescuing this guy because if you don't rescue him, this other guy is going to take a spinal fluid and turn himself into a Titan and all that." And you rescue him. The guy shows up. He injects himself with spinal fluid. Well, sorry, before that, you fight him just as a human. Then he injects himself with spinal fluid, and then you run away, and that's it. And it's just, what was the point? I re-downloaded this game for all that, and it's like 135 gigs, I think. Speaking of, I never mentioned this in the beginning, middle, or end reviews. Where the fuck is that 135 gigs going? Because the game doesn't look good, so it's not the graphics. The map isn't. It's a big map, but it's not like massive or anything, so it's not that. So what the fuck is it going towards? Like, if this was Fortnite or COD, I would accuse it of intentionally just adding shit files on there that do absolutely nothing just for the sake of increasing the the space that the game takes, so that you're forced to delete other games. I'm finished. I have nothing left except Fortnite, you know? But anyway, they didn't announce this, but they added a second quest on top of that where you find these two guys who have found this like sort of glyph carvings into a wall, and they're like, "Oh, we'll find these maps as well. Here, take this first map for free, and if you train us, we'll give you more maps." And then they train them, and then it's like, "Okay, come back tomorrow, train us some more, give you more maps." And have you seen my reviews for the main game? There's a massive fucking problem with that because the time shit just does not work. Like, it was amazing. Fucking perfect. Chef's kiss that in Origins and Odyssey. All you had to do was hold down the touchpad to skip time. Like, if you're going to design a quest where you need to be at a certain place at a certain time, make it so that you can skip to that time. But with AC, or with Shadows, you had your seasons, which you can't change. You can only change it when you're lucky enough for it to be at the top or lucky enough for it to be at the bottom. You can't change it when it's left or right. And then as for actual like day-night cycle, no clue. Get lucky. Come back after you've done some more missions, and hopefully it'll be nighttime then. Or just keep on fast traveling. But I really don't want to do that. So, they did say back in August that they were going to fix that problem when the Claws of Waji DLC came out, or whatever the fuck you call it. Not DLC, update. But I tried it, and they fucking lied. It still has not been fixed. And that is the reason why I gave up. I don't know what the reward for doing the thing is, but I've heard that it's not worth it. There's some sort of Easter egg to do with Cassandra, but guess I'm just not going to see that. So the whole thing is that you're supposed to train them until they give you all the maps, and then you go find the glyphs using the maps. I found a couple, and I was like, whatever. But since I don't have all the maps, I can't find all the glyphs. So, fuck Shadows. Like, it's such a bad game. Moving on. Middle review, Lost Judgment. This shit is somehow even more confusing than the first game. Really, the only thing that they haven't made grander is the fighting, because like that fight scene in the bar between you and I don't remember the name of the bad guy at the end of the game, but that fight and the last fight on top of that, like the action was great, and on top of that, it's so fucking fast and it's so fucking cool. But that's the only thing that they didn't increase. So as for I'm in chapter 9 now, and so far, the friends icons that are all there, really the only purpose those conversations have is to add words to your buzz researcher, but you don't actually need those for anything. It's just for a collection's sake, and even then, I don't like. Really, the only reason why you would collect them is for the Tango mission. That's it. Any word that you need for the story or a side case, you get from the story or the side case. Speaking of the side cases, I do quite like them, but I feel like they're not Yakuza enough. Like, this is Judgment, but the first game side cases felt Yakuza-y. Um, and it's just, as much as I like the Dastardly Detective plotline, the fact that they split it up into like 7 side cases is just, nah, I'd rather have like 5 unique side cases and then 2 or 3 Dastardly Detective side cases. And then on top of the side cases, you also have the school stories, which they're, I don't know how to feel about them. For one, they try to design it to make it feel like you can tackle them in whatever order you want, but you don't really have that ability, because the way it works is that you start off with the dance club. You get so far into the dance club, and then it locks off. But before it locks off, you get a certain amount of stat increases from completing parts of each club. And eventually, when you get to a certain amount, you unlock another club. And then you do that, that increases more stats, and you unlock the next one, the next one, the next one. And I got to the point where I couldn't continue the dance club because you needed I think it's guts, or no, it's appeal level of 5. My level was at 3, and I thought, there's nothing else I can do. The only things I have left are the robotics club, which I'm taking a break from because I got to a part where I'm just getting fucked every single time I play it. The boxing, also, I don't even think you get appeal from playing that. The boxing club, I'm taking a break from. 1, I don't even think you get appeal from it, and 2, I only played it once, but that guy, like, the difficulty spike is crazy. Everyone else was really fucking easy. Apart from Sugiura, but that's a DLC. So that fucking spike is just why? Um, and the biker club said that I needed more story progress, but I was able to progress in that story, no problem. And that got me up to appeal level 4. And from that, I unlocked the girls' bar. And I did that whole story. And from there, I went up to appeal level 5. And I was able to complete the dance club. So all I have left now is robotics, boxing, biker, and then also the MRC. But you can't continue in the MRC until you do all the others. Will I complete them all? Hopefully I will, but with how bullshit some of it is, I doubt it. But the whole thing is really interesting. So I would like to see how it ends. Um, as for Ejincho, I don't know. Like the fact that you know all the AXA games, the main place was Kamurocho. Kamurocho, I don't even fucking know it anymore. And then Judgment took place there as well. No problem with that. Then for Like a Dragon, they moved it to Ijincho. And even though I thought that it was just, you sort of wash up in Ijincho and you work your way back up, get stronger, get healthier, sort some shit out in Ijincho, and then you go back to Kamurocho. But no, you don't even go back there till the final chapter. So Ijincho is the main place for Like a Dragon. No problem. As for Lost Judgment, it's like 60 40, 60 of it being, not even 60, 80, 19 even. Like, I thought it would have been more 50-50, where it's just, you do some investigation in Kamurocho, and then you're like, oh, we need to go to Genshu to investigate this place. Go there, and it's like, oh, this clue leads us back to Kamurocho, and over and over and over, and I wouldn't have a problem with that. But no, it's, we need to go to Jinjo, and we're going to stay in Jinjo because this is where all the fucking evidence is leading us. And then, oh, we need to go back to Kamurocho for 5 minutes to help out Salary. Um, I'm not the biggest fan of it. Story wise, no problem so far. It's really good, really interesting. As I said at the start of the review, it sort of expands upon Judgment. The Judgment story was great, but I think this is just that little bit better. It's just more complicated and therefore more interesting. They brought the romance stuff back into this game, but it's more confusing in this than it was in the first game. It was simple in the first game, but it was repetitive. First game, you do a certain side case, and then you unlock the girlfriend, and you just text her, and then you go on a date and just play darts. That's what I did the whole time because I got the best darts in the game, so I can get 180s really easily. Um, but in this, I think the way it works is that one of them you get through a side case, or maybe it was the girls' bar, and then the other three you get through DLCs. And I remember I did a side case in the park where you had that girl in like a mascot outfit, and you help her out and you lock her as a girlfriend. And I went to where the heart icon is on the map and I talked to her. I was like, "Oh, you want to go out for a date?" Yeah. And then that was it. The love meter didn't increase or anything like that. So I don't know how it works in this game. So I'm just not going to bother with it. I know that I've unlocked another side case that I think is to do with another DLC love character, but I haven't done it yet. Because I've done um I've done all the side cases that I can do that aren't DLC up to this point. Just going on the story for now, and I'm probably not going to take a break from the story. I'm just going to go on until I finish the chapter. Speaking of, I want to get something clear. I am not playing the game consistently. What I'm doing is I'm playing one chapter, and then I was playing Power Wash for a bit, just until I caught up with all the YouTube videos that had come out from all the people that I'm subscribed to. But I did finish Power Wash. And then reading one arc of the Demon Slayer manga. So, after chapter 1, like, I don't need to give an example, you know exactly what the fuck I mean. But yeah. And on top of that, I got paid 3 days ago, and I spent my money on a couple games. I got all the Monument Valley games, which is what I've been playing since I finished chapter 8. Finished chapter 8, finished Power Wash. Then I played the PS4 version of 1, PS4 version of, PS5 version of 1, PS4 version of 2, so on and so on until I was done with the PS5 version of 3. I still bought Broken Age, but I did download it just because it's a small game, but I'm not going to play it yet. And I also bought Split Fiction. So, but for now, it's just going to be one chapter of this one arc of Demon Slayer. Although when it gets to Entertainment District, I'm not going to read the whole arc because it's 30 fucking chapters. I fought the Mount, whatever you call it, the one with the spider lady. I thought that was the second longest, other than Infinity Castle, but no, Entertainment District is 30 chapters. I'm going to split that into 3. I'll just do 10 chapters of that, then 1 Judgment, and so on. That's all I can think of that I have to say. So, I'm going to move on. Actually, another thing, the way that they've changed the SP in this game is bullshit because, they've inflated it. They've inflated the amount that things cost, but they haven't inflated the amount that you get. And, well, actually, they have inflated it a bit, but I wouldn't say it's enough. It's still underinflated, if you ask me. But on top of that, they've also added new. They added a new style called Snake, and then if you have the DLC, they added another style called Boxer, which means that that's more stuff that you have to spend your SP on. Not that I'm going to spend my SP on it because I stick to Tiger. Even when I'm fighting multiple enemies. But it's just, it's bullshit. You can't get SP bonuses, but it's just the SP you get from fights. It's not all SP. And that also costs a lot of money. The first couple are fine. It's 5k, 10k. But the last one is 80k. And it's just, I'm not fucking getting that. That's going to take a whole chapter to get. And by that point, I'm already at the fucking finale. Which means there's no point in spending my money on the SP bonus because I'm not going to get into any more fights. So it's stupid. Moving on. Saw 5. Universally negative ratings. Tobin Bell, Julie Benz, Scott Patterson, Betsy Russell, Costas Mandalore, Athena Karakanis, Carlo Rhoda, Angus McFadden appears in archival footage. Same for Danny Glover, Donnie Wahlberg, uh, Art, Lynn, Reg, Amanda. Yeah, the rest of them are archival footage. I started this immediately after Spiral, and I didn't get around until finishing it until last night. And this didn't have the same brutality that Spiral had that made me like Spiral a little bit. I think this is overall a better film. As crap as the writing is, it still is better than Spiral's. The acting is better, all that. Um, and also, there was this really cool thing that I noticed where it was showing. It's the scene where Hoffman meets John for the first time. And there's a scene where he's walking to an elevator and it says out of order. So, wait, am I talking about the wrong thing? Yeah, you know what, I'm talking about the wrong thing. I don't know if this is Saw 5 or Saw 6, but since I'm doing Saw 6 in the same review, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to mention this while I remember. There was a scene that the only thing I can really use to describe it is that it's like a reverse POV. You think that there's this guy that's about to get kidnapped, and you think there's a POV shot, you think it's the POV of the victim, but no, it's actually the POV of Hoffman doing the kidnapping, and it's just, that was so fucking smart. Like, god damn. Um, it's the only thing I can think of that's really worth mentioning. Sorry, no, there was another thing. I was thinking about halfway through the film that there was no need for the pendulum trap. It doesn't actually serve a plot function. Like, in Saw 2, Saw 1 didn't have an opening trap, technically. I wouldn't consider it one. Saw 2, the trap was meant to set up Matthews being sort of Riggs' replacement, and then 3 didn't have one. 4 was to set up the twist that uh, was it Art Blank? No, it wasn't Art Blank. It was someone else. But like, they get the victim from Saw 4 at the start is helping. He's sort of making sure that the trap at the end is going smoothly, and you think, oh, this is Jigsaw's second accomplice. So I thought that was great, and then this, I thought it wasn't leading anywhere. I thought it was just an opening trap, just so that the film has like a strong opening. But I thought it was completely unnecessary. And then they revealed that no, it's actually, that is the first guy that Hoffman killed before he became an accomplice, and he just did it like Jigsaw. One, to maximize the sort of torture, and two, so that just like a sort of blaming on someone else, and then that's how they met. And then it shows where Hoffman was during the rest of the series. Like, it showed him kidnapping the guy that died in the razor trap in Saw 1. And speaking of, there was a problem I had with that scene from Saw 1, because it's shown that Jigsaw had cut a hole in the wall and was personally looking at the trap. And Carrie, I think it was, had said, "Oh, Jigsaw likes to watch his victims," and it's just, it didn't sit right with me because Jigsaw doesn't. And I think that the point of that scene was they were trying to fix that mistake, because I would consider it a mistake. So I'm glad that they did that. I think the nail bombs in the overall trap are completely unnecessary. They didn't need to be there, so if it were me, I would have just removed them. What else? I think that's it. I'm just gonna move on. Saw 6 mixed ratings. I watched it on ITVX. Tobin Bell, Devin Bostick, Costas Mandalore, Shawnee Smith, for real this time, Athena Karakanis, also for real this time. Didn't know Melanie Scrofano was in this. Well, anyway, sorry, something I forgot about. Saw 5. The scene where Hoffman is placed in the shotgun trap. Tobin's acting in it, I think, wasn't the best. Because, like, there was a line where he's like, "Killing is distasteful." Like, he's like, "distasteful." There's like a brief pause between the taste and the full. And then big pause to me. And it could be, like, the pause to the to me, I think, is the script. So I wouldn't blame him for that, but the distasteful is him. But back to 6. I would have enjoyed this if it were more violent. I'm thinking in particular the carousel trap, because this film is rated 18. Like, it's not a 15, so it's not like they can get away with anything, but they do have a lot of control over the gore. Like, they can go far. If you've seen The Monkey, I wanted that level of violence for the shotgun trap. Even, yeah, they're getting hit in the stomach, and the girl from The Monkey got hit in the head, but it should still be a lot more violent than it was. And if it was, then that would have been great. Speaking of the carousel trap, I thought that the last guy to die in it was going to I thought he was going to do some absolute acting where he kind of goes through the 5 stages of grief, where it's like anger, denial, blah blah blah. But no, he goes from like anger, sadness, anger, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, it's not bad acting. It's just, it could have been, if I were the actor, or it could be the script. I don't know. Either way, if it were me, I would have done like the 5 stages of grief in that moment. I don't like Devin's character in this. I know that, like, it's sort of funny to point out that he did this literally only a year later. He did Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and then through Diary of a Wimpy Kid, he did fucking Oppenheimer. But I just wasn't a fan of him in this. This is the end of the Saw series for me, because I've already seen 7, 8, 9, and 10. My overall take on the series is that it's very hit or miss. The fact that they did some good things despite having made 7 films in 7 years, it is kind of mind blowing because usually if you do something like that, it becomes shit very quickly. And yet, the franchise got shit from like 3 onwards, but like 3 and 4 weren't really all that interesting. It captured my attention. 5 captured my attention. 7 captured my attention. 8 I think was great. I don't get the hate for 8. I would have loved to have seen a sequel to 8. Um, Spiral is absolute shit, and 10 is also pretty good. I would have liked to seen Saw 11, but unfortunately that's not going to happen because there were internal disagreements, and also Tobin is 84 years old. Like, sorry, 83. I don't mean to be ageist, but it's just like it's not like he's in his 70s; he's in his 80s now. So I wouldn't blame him for stepping back. Maybe if in Saw 11 he just spent the whole time in a wheelchair, because the film does take place, or the film would have took place not long before the events of Saw 2. And while he was walking in Saw 2, it could just be that his health is fluctuating. That, you know, he has his good days and his bad days, and Saw 11 just so happens to take place on a bad day. But, would I recommend watching the franchise? No. I do think you should watch the first film because I think from a writing perspective, it's a stroke of genius. It's a really good film. It's just the editing, unfortunately, is shit. But even though there are some good films, and there is 1 or 2 really good films in the rest of the series, I wouldn't say it's worth it, even if you were to just watch the good ones. One last thing before I finish. I originally got into the series about 2 years ago. I was very curious about the film, and I was like, the film's probably going to be too gory for me. And as much as I hate it when my brother does this or other people do this, I'm just going to watch a recap on YouTube. And I did that for all the films bar 10 because it was only just out. And a couple months later, I'm like, fucking, I'm watching the first one. And then I told Ginger about it because I knew Ginger had seen the first one. And I was like, do you want to watch the rest of the series? And he said yes. And he had seen 2 already. So we were going to go on to 3. But he saw that Saw X was on Prime, and he was like, oh, you know, let's watch this. And he didn't enjoy it, so he was like, nah, fuck it, that's me out. So eventually I convinced Bin Man to watch it because he got me to watch the Harry Potter series, and I thought, you know, I know it was 8, but, you know, 7 Harry Potters, 7 Saws, and then the last 3 are just bonus. And we watched the first 2 on ITVX, but then by the time I got to watching the third film, it had been gone from ITVX. The only things that were left were 1 and 2. And the series just got passed around like a piece of meat for a year and a half. And it wasn't until I watched 6 that I realized that they were all of them, all 10 of them were back on ITVX. Like, the lengths I had to go to for the rest of the series. Because, 1, I was watching them out of order, because it was 1, 2, 10, 3, 8, 4, 7, 5, 6. And then all the different streaming services I had to use for them. 3 was on Tubi. 4 was on some app on PlayStation called Rakuten TV. I had to rent it and then give Bidman, Ginger, and Dylan my password. And then only 3 people were allowed to watch at the same time. So Ben Man, I'd be left out, and then we watched it together the next day. 6 was ITVX. 7 was on Netflix, and we watched 7 when we watched it because it was about to leave Netflix. Sorry, not Netflix, Prime. 8 we watched on Netflix because it was just about to leave Netflix. And then 10 was Prime. So, just going for all those hoops for what was ultimately an series was just, it does piss me off. The only horror series that is near this length that I have any sort of respect for, that I fucking love, is Scream. Scream is so good. The only one I would call bad is Free. I don't think there's anything else to say.